Hi friends, today we are going to see the past year NEET questions for the chapter Plant Kingdom, and today in this video we will cover part 6. People, those who haven't gone through the earlier parts, kindly have a go through so it will be easier for you to go with the chapter. Okay, so let's begin with the first question here today. Let's read it here. Prothallus gives rise to fern plant without fertilization. They're talking about a gametophyte. It gives rise to a sporophyte without fertilization. So what is that scenario called as? So this question was asked in the year 1988. Okay, so here you are given 4 different terms here. Right, they're talking about apospory, apogamy, parthenogenesis, parthenocarpy. So each term we will see in detail and then we will conclude what is the answer. So first, talking about apospory, it's the development of the gametophyte directly from the sporophyte without meiosis and without forming spores. That is called as apospory. Now what do you mean by apogamy? When prothallus of a fern gives rise to sporophyte directly from the somatic cell without forming gametes, and that is called as apogamy. Okay, such a type of sporophyte will be usually haploid in nature. Okay, it will be usually haploid in nature. Now coming on to the next term, parthenogenesis. Right, parthenogenesis means it is a reproduction from the ovum without fertilization, especially it's a normal process in some invertebrates and lower plants. Okay, and parthenocarpy, it is the development of the fruit without prior fertilization. So here they have clearly mentioned about gametophyte and sporophyte. Out of the 4, the correct answer is option B, apogamy, because when the prothallus of the fern gives rise to a sporophyte directly from the somatic cell without forming gametes. Okay, so that scenario without fertilization, without gametes or without fertilization, both mean the same. So that scenario or that definition is called as apogamy. Therefore the correct answer is option B. Now let's move to the next question. Look at this question here. It was asked in the year 2009. Which one of the following is considered important in the development of seed habit? I think all of you by now would have guessed the answer. We have discussed about this particular point a lot about it in the earlier parts. Yes, the correct answer is Heterospory. We already told that hetero means different and they will have 2 types of spores. One will be micro and one will be macro, or you can call it as megaspore. Okay, heterospory is an important feature of evolution in a seed habit system. Okay, therefore the correct answer to this question is option A, heterospory. So to your right side you can see a big description about heterospory. Heterospory is a production of spores of 2 different sizes and sexes by the sporophytes of the land plants. So here there are 2 types of spores produced. One will be micro and the other will be mega. Okay, and as I already mentioned, it is considered as an important part in the development of the seed habit. Okay, the correct answer is option A. And we also saw examples for heterosporous nature, Salvinia and Selaginella. Okay, so these are some of the examples of heterospory. Okay, now let's move to the next question here. This question is asking us a general term. Plants reproducing by spores such as mosses and ferns are grouped under the general term dash. So this question was asked in the year 2003. Okay, so here if you see, this question is very clear and it is very easy to answer. Why? If you see, the question clearly tells you they are talking about a term, right? They are talking about a term. And if you look at the 4 options given here, cryptogams, sporophytes, then thallophytes and bryophytes. Out of 4, now if you see sporophytes, then thallophytes and bryophytes, all 3 are not terms but they are names, while when I say term, cryptogams will go for it. But this is one way to find an answer, but I'm just giving you a clue when you don't know the answer how to find. But here if you see, they reproduce by spores, but they do not produce any flowers or fruits or seeds. So that is the scenario here. So what will you call that scenario? Okay, their reproduction is only through spores. So that is called as cryptogams. What do you mean by crypto? Crypto means hidden. Okay, crypto means hidden, and gamo means marriage. Okay, the plants which reproduce by spores and they do not produce any seeds, that is called as, or that is termed as, cryptogams. So give me examples for cryptogams now, the ones which do not have any flowers, fruits or seeds. Yes, it is bryophytes and pteridophytes, that is ferns and mosses undergo these kind of reproduction. Okay, the correct answer is option B, cryptogams. So in the solution part also they explain the same thing what I spoke now, right? So option B is the right answer. To your right side you can see the picture which tells you that cryptogams are seedless and flowerless plants. Okay. Now let's move to the next question here. Select the mismatch. This is once again an easy question. In fact, this was asked in the year 2017. So you just need to match and see. Psychis or Sichus, whatever you can call it as. So this is dioecious. Yes, this is dioecious. Next is Salvania. It's heterosporous. I just now told you when talking about seed habit, it is heterosporous, 2 types of spores. So this is also correct. Equistem, it's homosporous. Yes, it's homosporous. You only see single type of spores there. There are not 2 types of spores. Pinus, is it dioecious or monoecious? This is wrong. Okay, so the mismatch is option D. Pinus is usually monoecious. Now what is the difference between monoecious and dioecious? Can anybody say? When I say monoecious, the male and the female cones, okay, are present in the same plant. When I say dioecious, the male and the female are present separately. It's not in the same individual. That is the only difference between monoecious and dioecious. Therefore, my Pinus is monoecious. So the correct answer is option D. Okay. So to your right side, you can see a picture of pine. So that's how they look. Okay. So the option D is the right answer for this question. Okay. Now let's move to the next question here. Here they're asking us about this correct statement. This question was asked in the year 2016. Okay, let's go one statement by statement so that it will be easy for you to understand. Now look at the first statement here. Gymnosperms are both homosporous and heterosporous. This statement is wrong. It can be only either. Salvania, ginkgo and pinus, all 3 are gymnosperms. Wrong. Sequoia is one of the tallest trees. Yes, this is right. I'll tell you why. Why is sequoia one of the tallest trees? The last one. The leaves of the gymnosperms are not well adapted to the extremes of the climate. This is also wrong. The correct answer is option C. Sequoia is one of the tallest trees. This is a correct statement mentioned in the 4 options given here. So to your right side, you can see the giant tree, the Sequoia Sempervirens. It is one of the tallest trees in the world, and this is how it looks. So gigantic and so huge, so tall. Okay. Yes. So anything else that you want to tell about this plant, this tree is, it is a sole living species. It is monoecious in nature. It is massive tree, one of the massive tree that is present on the earth, and is one of the 3 species of the coniferous trees. It is also known as redwoods, and it is classified under the family of Cupraceae. Okay. So the correct answer is option C, sequoia. Sequoia is one of the tallest trees, and we all agree with that. Okay, now let's move to the next question here. Look at this question here, was asked in the year 2015. In which of the following gametophyte is not independent free living? Which is not independent? We have even discussed this question in the earlier parts. If you clearly watched or if you clearly listened to it, then you would know what the answer is. The correct answer to this question is option C, Pinus. Okay, they do not have an independent free living. Okay, Pinus, as you know, it belongs to which family or which category? It belongs to gymnosperms. Okay, Pinus belongs to gymnosperms in which male and the female do not have an independent free living existence. Okay, they have 2 spores, they remain within the sporangia, which are of 2 types, micro and macrosporangia, or you call it as megasporangia. And if you see this system, okay, this particular system, they are confined within one system. They are not free living. They are confined within one system, and both the system are in the same sporangia. Okay, therefore the correct answer to this question, when they talk about not an independent free living, the correct answer is option C, Pinus. Okay, now let's move to the next question here. Look at this question here. Read the following 5 statements A to E and select the option with all correct statements. Okay, we will go one statement by statement. Okay, so look at the first statement here. Mosses and lichens are the first organisms to colonize a bare rock. Look at option B. Selaginella is homosporous pteridophyte. Option B is actually wrong. Option A is correct. Okay, mosses and lichens are the first organisms to colonize a bare rock. Yes, that is right. Okay, so the first one, option A, is right. Option B is wrong. Okay, Selaginella is not homosporous, it is heterosporous, as you all know. Option C. Coronoid roots in Sheis have VAM. Yes, that's also right. No, coronoid roots in Sheis have VAM. No, I don't think so. They are right. I'll tell you what is VAM. Okay, look at D now. Main plant body in bryophytes is gametophytic, whereas in pteridophytes it's saprophytic. Yeah, this is right. Okay, this is wrong. It does not have any VAM in it. Okay. Next, in gymnosperms, male and the female gametophytes are present within sporangia located in sporophyte. Okay, now what do you mean by VAM? Does anybody know what is the full form of VAM? VAM stands for, wait 1 minute. VAM stands for, see, the correct answer to this question is A, D and E. Okay. B, as I already said, Selaginella means it has heterosporous. They have heterosporous in nature. They have 2 types of spores, mega and the microspores. Now, VAM stands for vesicular advesicular mycorrhiza. Okay, yeah, VAM stands for vesicular advesicular mycorrhiza. So here, if you see, Sheis does not have this VAM. So option C is also wrong. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option B, A, D and E. A, D and E are the correct options given here. We all know Selaginella is heterosporous. In Sheis, coronoid roots have cyanobacteria and anabenna. They do not have a VAM. VAM is a fungi. Okay, VAM is a fungi. It is called as vesicular advesicular mycorrhiza. Okay, the correct answer to this question is option B. A, D and E statements are correct. Now let's move to the next question here. Fine. Look at this question here. Besides paddy field, cyanobacteria are also found inside vegetative part of dash. Okay, this question was asked in the year 2013. So besides paddy field, okay, where do you find the cyanobacteria? In the vegetative part. Okay, again you're given 4 options here, right? 4 options here, and the correct answer is option A, Sheis. Okay, Sheis, if you see, it is a specialized root. It has a specialized root, as you already saw in the earlier slides. It has anabenna and other bacteria is cyanobacteria, anabenna, nostoc. These are some of the bacteria that live in association with this, which will help in the plant survival. So in Sheis, if you see, specialized roots called Coronoid roots are associated with the nitrogen fixing cyanobacteria. So they've given you examples here. Nostoc, then anabenna are some of the examples of cyanobacteria. Now these coronoid roots, okay, coronoid roots, they lie near the soil surface. They are irregular and they are often dichotomously branched. Of course, they are like the other plants only. They will have a root, they will have root hair, they will have root cap. But here in this case, if you see, they are irregular and often dichotomously formed and branched, and the only difference is that they don't resemble like the other plants. They live in association with the cyanobacteria, which help them in the nitrogen fixing part, and here if you see, they have absence of root cap and root hair. Okay, their root will look a very simple structure. They will not have any root hair and all. See, a normal plant, if you see, they will have root hair. Okay, these root hair functions as storage and for absorption of water, minerals and so on. Okay, since you have the presence of cyanobacteria here, they don't require these root hairs and root cap for extra protection and storage and absorption. So these cyanobacteria will take into action and it will start storing whatever necessity that plant requires. Okay, therefore the correct answer to this question is option A. Now let's move to the next question here. Again, this question is similar to the earlier one that we saw. You have to read the statements and you have to mention the answer the questions which follows them. So here if you see, we will go one statement by statement. First one, in liverworts, mosses and ferns, gametophytes are free living. Look at option 2, gymnosperms and some ferns are heterosporous. Sexual reproduction in fucus, volvox and albigo is oogamous, that's right. The sporophyte in liverworts is more elaborate than in mosses. Yes, both Pinus and Marchantia are dioecious. Okay, so here how many of the above statements are correct? So the correct statements here are only 2 statements out of the 5 statements, only 2 are correct. Okay, so the correct statement is option. There are 3 statements which are correct here. Okay, not 2, there are 3 statements here. I will tell you why. In liverworts and ferns, gametophytes are free living, while in ferns, sporophytes are free living. Okay, gymnosperms and genera like Selaginella and Salivania, we all know they are heterosporous. They produce 2 types of spores. The sporophyte in mosses are more elaborate than in that of liverworts. Pinus is monoecious, heterosporous, and Marchantia is dioecious. Okay, so how many statements out of the 5 statements are correct? See, statement 5 is wrong because Pinus is monoecious. They have mentioned dioecious, so 5 went wrong. Next, the sporophyte in mosses are more elaborate than that of liverworts. That's right. Sexual reproduction in fucus, volvox and albigo is oogamous. Okay, therefore the correct statements are 3 out of 5. Okay, now let's move to the next question here. This question was asked in the year 2013. Okay, what is common in all the 3? Funaria, Dioecious and Ginkgo. Okay, fine. Coming to the solution. So what is that common thing that you find in all the 3? Okay, so talking about each option, independent sporophyte, no, not every 3, all the 3 have independent sporophyte. Presence of Arconia, yes. Well developed vascular tissues, no. Some plants have vascules, some plants do not have vascules. Independent gametophyte, no. Therefore the correct answer is presence of Arconia. What is Arconia? Arconium is a female sex organ that is present in mosses, liverworts, ferns and most of the conifers. Okay, as you all know, an Arconium was derived from an ancient Greek word which means multicellular structure, or it can also be described as the female gamete or the female sex organ. Okay, as you all know, the male sex organ is called as antheridium and the female sex organ is called as Arconia or Arconium. Therefore, the common in all the 3 organisms of the plant given here, the common feature is the presence of Arconia, which is supposed to be common. Okay, the correct answer is option B. So to your right side you can see the Arconia structure. Okay, so this is how it will be when you view it under the microscope. Okay, so here the female sex organ Arconium is formed in bryophytes, pteridophytes and gymnosperms. So this is one feature which is common in all the 3 mentioned above organisms of plants. Okay, now let's move to the next question. Cichus and datum resemble each other in having dash. So this question was asked in the year 2012. Okay, as we all know, Cichus or Cichus, they are called as the they belong to gymnosperms, and datum is a pteridophyte. Okay, so datum is pteridophyte, and Cichus is gymnosperm. Okay, datum is also known as a median hair fern, which resemble each other in having motile sperms. Okay, So the correct answer is option B. Okay, so they all known to have something called median hair, inditum caudatum. Okay, seeds of cambium are common in gymnosperms and absent in pteridophytes. True vessels are absent in, see, when we discuss about each option, motile sperm is actually the one which resemble between both. If you look at seeds, no, that's not the right answer. Cambium is common in gymnosperms but absent in pteridophytes. But you have two features here. You're talking about gymnosperms and pteridophytes. Cambium is of course present in gymnosperms, but it is absent in pteridophytes. So it is present in Sheis and it is not absent in diatom. So then it becomes wrong. So it cannot be cambium. Then you have vessels. True vessels are present in both pteridophytes and gymnosperms. But here if you see, the correct answer goes to motile sperms. See, vessels are present in both pteridophytes and gymnosperms, but that vessels have to be true vessels. Okay, therefore the correct answer to this question is option B, motile sperms. Okay, now let's move to the next question here. Which one of the following is a correct statement? Okay, you're given four statements here. You need to identify the correct statement here. Let's go one statement by statement. Pteridophyte gametophyte has a protonemal and leafy stage. Okay, look at option B. In gymnosperms, female gametophyte is free living. Option C, anthridiophores and argoniophores are present in pteridophytes. Origin of seed habit can be traced in pteridophytes, and the correct statement is option D. Origin of seed habit which can be traced in pteridophytes, as I already spoke a lot about it in the earlier parts, where I told that this is an important part when it comes to pteridophytes, where there is heterosporous nature, right? That is only talking about the seed habit here. So gametophyte and bryophytes, they bear protonemal and leafy stage. Okay, pteridophyte gametophyte does not do that. Second one, in gymnosperms, female gametophyte is not free living. So they have mentioned free living here. It's not free living. Third one, they are present in Marchantia, which is a bryophyte. Okay, anthridiophores and argoniophores are of course present in organisms, but that is not seen in pteridophytes, but in case it is seen in bryophytes. Now you understand the difference here. Look at the first statement here. Pteridophyte gametophyte has a protonemal and leafy stage. No, here gametophyte of bryophytes have a leafy stage. It's free living, it's not free living. So that's what they mentioned, the correct statement here. And option C, it is present, but it is not present in the pteridophytes, but in case it is present in bryophytes. Origin of the seed habit, of course, it can be traced in pteridophytes. For example, we saw Salvinia and Selaginella. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option D. Now let's move to the next question here. Again, you have to read the statements and you have to answer the question. So we will go one statement by statement. Okay, look at the first statement. In Equistem, the female gametophyte is retained on the parent sporophyte. Second one, in Ginkgo, male gametophyte is not independent. And option C, see, out of the out of the 5 statements given here, only 2 are correct. Okay, statement A and B are correct. Rest of the 3, C, D and E, are wrong. Look at option A. This is correct. In Equistem, the female gametophyte is retained on the parent sporophyte. That is right. In Ginkgo, the male gametophyte is not independent. Yes, it is not in free living state. So the answer is right. Now, if you take the other 3 options, it is wrong. So therefore, the correct statements out of the 5 here is option A, 2 statements. Okay. Now to your right side, you can see the description part, which tells you or gives you explanation of the 3 statements which went wrong. Now, why are they wrong? We will go one by one. Now, look at the third statement here, option C. The sporophyte in Trichia is more developed than that of Polytrichum. No, this one is actually a liverwort, and this is a simplest sporophyte which consists of capsule, while Polytrichum is a moss in which sporophyte consists of fruit, seta and capsule. Therefore, if you see, option C is wrong. It's not more developed than Polytrichum. Look at the next one. Sexual reproduction in volvox is isogamous. No, the sexual reproduction which takes place in volvox is not isogamous. Reproduction is both sexual and asexual. Sexual reproduction is oogamous when it comes to volvox. Okay, the spores of slime molds lack cell walls. Okay, option E, the spores of the slime molds lack the cell walls. Slime molds are the consumer decomposer protist. They possess characters of plants. Okay, they have a cellulose based cell wall. Then they have an animal which is phagotrophic nutrition, and the fungi which produces the spores. Okay, therefore the correct statement is only A and B, while the rest of the statement is wrong. Okay, so this one, if you see, you can clearly mention, they have clearly mentioned about the slime molds here. Slime molds lack cell walls. No, they do have a cell wall which is cellulose. Okay, next question. Which one of the following pairs is wrongly matched? This question was asked in the year 2012. Okay, this question was asked in the year 2012. Okay, let's go one by one. First one, Ginkgo argonia, Salvania prothalis. Yes, viroids will have RNA, mustard synergids. So the correct answer to this question is option A, argonia. Ginkgo will not have argonia. Okay, so what is Ginkgo? Ginkgo is a genus of a highly unusual non-flowering plant. Okay, it's a non-flowering plant. So to your right side you can see the image of Ginkgo. This is how it will be. Okay, they are non-flowering plants. They are a group of gymnosperms. They consist of single living species, and Ginkgophyte is the member of the division which belongs to the family Ginkgophyta. Okay, so to your right side you can see the image of Ginkgo. This is how the leaves will be seen. Physically they look. So therefore the correct answer to this question is option A, Ginkgo. Okay, while the rest, all three other options are correctly matched. So with this we complete part 6. Let's all meet in the next part. Okay, until then go through the chapter so that it will be easy for you to answer the next part. Okay, thank you.